At the same time, police are investigating an alleged assault case involving former Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority Director General Daniel Kiptoo, who is accused of unlawfully detaining and torturing some of his employees over claims that they had stolen from him. In an exclusive interview, one of the employees recounts the alleged torture and intense pressure they faced to surrender money and property to cover a deficit that reportedly emerged during the reconciliation of records at Tarita Group Company. Individuals who are still recovering from the traumatic ordeal are also alleging cover-up, as the police occurrence book number does not match the day the incident happened. Let's get more from NTV's Jürgen Nambeck.
I was being beat up. Yeah. I was stripped off. I didn't have clothes, and she was brought to watch. And I would be hit on the sides, and she could not do anything. She could just close her eyes and cry.
June 27th, 2026 will forever remain etched in the memory of Robert, not his real name. It is the day he says an emergency meeting held at Tarita Center in Eldoret turned into one of the most traumatic experiences of his life, an ordeal that police are now investigating. While reconciling financial records at Tarita Group, a company involved in fuel, natural gas and green energy, Robert says an apparent discrepancy emerged. A client claimed the company owed them money, but the company's records showed otherwise. Earlier, Daniel Kiptoo had been checking in and out of the room as the reconciliation process got underway, but as the team combed through the records month by month, he returned, and this time his tone had changed.
So when he walked in, his stance had changed. He was now furious, and his words were like, this reconciliation you're doing is just back and forth. I'm down 92 million shillings. So between the four of us, we needed to produce the 92 million shillings.
What followed, Robert says, was an ordeal he never saw coming.
4 heavily built men walked in. So each of the 4 men dragged an individual out. And that's when blows and kicks landed. I passed out myself. Questions followed. Where is the money? Where is the money? Yeah. Happy pesa boss. Happy pesa boss.
It is alleged that the reconciliation process quickly turned into a session of intense pressure, with the 4 individuals allegedly ordered to check their bank accounts and transfer money to the company to cover the disputed amount. Those who had money to offer were, they say, spared further pressure. But when the cash ran out, attention allegedly shifted to their assets, including vehicles and parcels of land.
My time came, I sat under my boss Kiptoo, and alikuwa anasema huyu hajatosheka, umeongezea kidogo, alafu nawekwa bari kwa uso hizi sasa hapa, yeah. Hapa ilikuwa my face was over, yeah. Nawekwa bari, alafu you collapse. It was unbearable. You can only scream for your life. Leo ni ile siku ya mwisho, alafu aso put on your mouth.
According to a copy of Deed of Settlement, Asset Transfer Undertaking and Continuity Support Agreement seen by NTV, drafted by Tarita Group Limited, Robert was supposed to sell property worth 200 million for exposure of the company following an audit that alleged he as an employee had engaged on fraudulent activities and would step away afterwards. It meant that he would release his pieces of land in Uasin Gishu, his rental plots, a garden, and his motor vehicle to the company. It is this agreement that saved Robert's life, as he had signed the transfer allegedly under pressure, and the relevant parties did the same for the company, and he needed his spouse and another person to witness the same. This was his window to request for help, as he was not sure he would make it out alive. She came with police, who saved them and arrested 6 suspects.
I reached out to my friends from where we were being kept. I texted my wife and a lawyer, friend of mine, to get the police to come to Tarita 5th floor. We were being held against our wishes. Here, the police are the ones doing the abduction. The police are the ones who saved us, man. Because you would have known what would have happened after we've signed off everything we own.
The case was reported at Central Police Station under OB number 58/02/06/2026, explaining the torture and being forced to sign the agreement. 6 suspects were arrested according to the police report, with the Tarbo Sub-County Police Commander Patrick Wekesa confirming they saved the 4 and investigations are ongoing, which begs the question why an incident that occurred on the 27th and 28th of June is recorded to have occurred weeks earlier. The case, however, brings forth questions why the employer did not follow the right procedure and chose to take matters into his own hands. Earlier conversations between the alleged employer and Robert expose a back and forth of allegations that he was stealing from the company through family and proxies, and he would eventually pay and rot in jail for the same, raising queries why Kiptoo chose to handle it himself and not report the matter to the police. Few days before the ordeal, Kiptoo had called Robert, who then failed to pick his calls, prompting him to send a text message. Robert says he wished his employer would look at the books.
At some point, what was tied in our subsidy was so high, but it did not allow us to be able to trade freely. I personally do other things. I have a real estate portfolio. So someone easily concludes that this person is stealing money from the company. Even the focus was not really on what the numbers are saying. The focus was in jamaa kuna inafaa kwa yangu.
It also begs the question why on the day when police saved Richard and his colleague, Kiptoo proceeded to record a statement with the police with OB number 69/28/06/2026. Our team reached out to Tarita Group through the former EPRA DG, offering him an opportunity to respond to allegations that he unlawfully detained, assaulted, and coerced his employees into surrendering money and property, but he did not pick our calls, and despite a proxy reaching out, Kiptoo had not formally responded by the time of airing his piece. Robert says he is shaken and psychologically tormented from the ordeal, and that he is worried about the safety of his family, since some saw him go through the experience that left him wounded and in a lot of pain.
When you're being beat up, and you're being beat up before him, he was smiling. He was smiling. He was nonchalant. He was just smiling. Everything was at standstill, and not knowing what will be next. The people who were beating us up are still up there. And they actually expressly made a threat: you go to the media, you'll die. You go to the police, you'll die. You try anything, you'll die. So I said, I think I've seen the worst happen, so let me just come clean. Let me just come to the media. At least I'll have shared my story.
What happened in the offices of Tarita Group Company is now subject of official investigations, whose findings will determine the next chapter for the parties. Eugen Mbeka, NTV, Nairobi.